Hi, girly.
Hi, girly.
I'm Eliana,
I'm Derek.
and this is
The book club for
For
the
the Girlies.
girlies.
In today's episode of For the Girlies, we are chatting about.
Finding Me by Viola Davis. It's a memoir.
We're really excited to get into that. However, before we get there, please make
Hmm.
sure that you have liked, commented, shared this video, and that you are subscribed to our channel. Also,
Yes.
make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are always aware of when we're posting.
Hmm. Also, when you are watching our video and commenting, always be kind. That's kind to each other. Be kind to us, please. And be kind to the author. Also, make sure you're following us on all of the socials. The links are all in the description box below.
Before we get into this book, there will be spoilers. So
Yes.
if you're spoiler averse, just turn the volume down a little bit, let us get the view, and
Hmm.
read it. Come back and watch because it's a really good read.
It is.
Okay, without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Finding Me by
Hmm.
Viola Davis. How would you describe this one?
So it's a memoir. Uh, and it truly is it's titled, I think, perfectly. It really is
Yeah.
her story of finding herself and like her purpose and
Hmm.
becoming comfortable with her own self. It follows her from the age of five.
Five-ish,
Yeah,
something like
five,
that.
five until when she wrote the book. When I think she was like 50 or early 50. She's still in her early 50s.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it goes through her early childhood life, and her adult life, her relationships with her family. It was a
Was
memoir.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I Just to add a little bit, she tells the story of her upbringing in Rhode Island as one of the only black families in her neighborhood.
Hmm.
So she's, talking a lot about how racism, sexism, and other compounding factors affected her. Um, yeah. In terms of it being a long or short read, what'd you think?
Short read.
I'd say it was so short.
Wish it was a little longer.
I felt like it was really short because of the way that because of the tone. I felt like I was reading my
Hmm.
friend's text message to me.
Oh my gosh, it definitely felt. I listened to it, and
Mm,
I usually I'll start a book at work to listen, and then I'll finish reading it at home. There was nothing to finish. I was done in a day, like in the
yeah,
work day, and I was like, oh, it was like listening to a podcast or like her just talking. Like I was just listening to her share her story.
yeah,
It was really good.
I would agree. Okay, so speaking of it being really good,
Hmm.
let's move on into likes and dislikes.
Woo!
So, what were some of your likes, pal?
I first of all, I loved the story. I loved reading her story and like finding out more about her
Hmm.
and her journey because I don't really know that I didn't know that much about Viola.
Yeah,
I knew she was from Rhode Island.
I would have never even guessed that,
I
honestly.
knew she was from Rhode Island because the accent's there, like the way she says certain
Oh, I don't know
things.
what that accent is.
It's like adjacent to Boston,
Oh,
so it's crazy.
okay.
She says certain words, and I've always been like, "What is
Hmm.
that?" um, yeah. So I liked reading her story and her journey. I related to a lot of it, which we'll get into later. Um, I liked how well it read. Like I just said, it flowed
Hmm.
beautifully. What were some of your likes, E?
Um, My first one was that I just really love the tone throughout the book. It's something you'd never, I think, expect from a highly acclaimed middle-aged actress.
Mm.
Like, I knew she, I knew she was relatable,
Mhm.
and I loved everything she had to say. But it's so different to hear it actually coming from her rather than in an interview or something like that people do with Oprah,
Yeah.
or even just I don't know, something written in Vogue or whatever. It was nice to have it come straight from her.
Mhm.
Um, and it just made it so easy to read. There was so much lessons that she learned and that she imparted
Mhm.
upon other people. So I'm excited to get into that. But
Same.
what about your dislikes?
Just one really quick.
Okay.
Picking, piggybacking off of what you said, I
Hmm.
also wrote that I already felt like related, but I always felt. I feel like that's my aunt. I don't know. No, I felt so like she was so relatable.
Hmm.
Um, I literally, it's documented that I've called her my queen, not on this, but in life. This, because I just think that she's just so great, and like the way that she taps into stuff
Hmm.
is mind blowing. And I loved hearing her point of view in her words, because, like you said, she's so heavily like talented and
Yeah.
like the accolades that she has, and it was like, oh, Viola is just like any, like she's like an older person in my family. It's my aunt, like
Yeah.
she was, so it was her. It was like hearing,
You expected something posh, and
right, and she's not that at
no.
all, and I loved that.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, oh, I know this woman, and yeah, I appreciate that I'm getting.
You could hang out with her anywhere, basically.
It was really good. The dislikes.
Mm, I didn't have any.
Really? I didn't have any either. My only dislike, I said, was that no one helped their family. That was my only dislike.
Mm,
We read they lived in, she grew up in some gruesome conditions,
yeah.
and it was talked about, within the community, it was talked about at school, but no one helped those kids.
No, not even the teachers that she said
Helped.
that they cared about them.
They didn't
They
help.
didn't help.
And that family, I wrote that this family suffered for generations
Mm,
in this town. And then for all those people to show up at her father's funeral, which is beautiful that like he meant so much to people, but like,
yeah,
did
but you
he?
never
You never
supported.
helped him.
Yeah.
He had all those kids, and then when he died, there was 15 people living in an, what was it, 850 square feet.
Yeah. It's like they treated them like they were a story, like the
Oh,
town.
the Davises.
Yeah.
It's like, they're humans. Like, that's real people. Viola, is that your house on fire? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody in the community in Rhode Island was like, dang, them people house burned down. They probably
Mhm.
lost something. Let's do a clothes drive. Let's do a food drive. Nothing.
Nothing.
We just, those kids stink. You take them out of class and tell them how to wash instead of like figuring out what's going on. It's just, that's
There wasn't community.
zero
There
community. Which,
were
I mean, I'm not
times
surprised by. I've been to Rhode Island.
there were times where she'd mention other folks of color, or even black people
Hmm.
in Rhode Island, and it would shock me every time because I'd be like, "Well, why is your experience so isolated?" Like, I don't ever recall her talking about having a friend
Mm.
throughout her childhood.
I think it's because she was so dark skinned,
Hmm. Like,
and they
I
were, yeah,
understand
yeah.
why, but like, really, why?
She was the
Like, how
only
did,
black
like, there
kid.
was
It
no,
seemed like, and they were the only black family in their town. I mean, there were the Portuguese who
there there was other mention of like one or two other
mm,
black people like throughout her growing up, like not
yeah.
necessarily like in elementary school or something like that. Like there were a couple mentions of that.
Mm.
Rhode Island's not even that big anyway.
It's Little Rhodey.
So I the yes, I understand that colorism exists. However, I also was like, okay, but she also never mentioned any kind of community with black people at all,
I
ever
think,
in Rhode Island.
yeah, yeah. Which, it seems like that's like a. I'm trying to remember if this is when she's away at. Oh, that's what it is. It's because she didn't live. Rhode Island is very small,
Hmm.
but she didn't live in like the black neighborhood. Like
Oh
Pawtucket is where
yes.
a lot of is
Yeah.
the black, like where a lot of black people are
That
from.
also
And
makes me wonder why the heck they stayed in Central Falls for so long.
moving right along into our ratings, and as you know,
Mm-hmm.
or if you don't know, now you
Now you
know.
know.
We do not rate things on a scale of 1 through 5,
Nope.
or
1 to 10.
yeah, no, 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 no. We rate things on a scale of WTF was that?
Interesting, but wouldn't read again.
It was good.
Loved, would read again.
And how will I ever go on? Okay, E.
Mm.
How did you rate this book?
This one was hard because our ratings don't fit it. It
Hmm.
definitely was a loved, it was good. I don't need to read it again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that I've the only memoir
Yeah, I
Cicely
think we talked.
Tyson's, but it's the only one that I've ever read that I've been like, yes, I need to read this again. At some point in my life.
Mm,
But I feel I also said that this was a loved. I said loved would read again because I feel like I would visit it again because,
mm-hmm.
like you mentioned, there were a lot of lessons that she just
Yeah.
bestowed upon us, and yeah, I'd like to just refresh my mem on those. And it was a short read, so like, why not?
Now that we are done with our ratings, we are moving on into our quiz portion. I'm not singing the song.
Quiz.
Wow, that one was long.
It was long.
I will be quizzed today by Derek.
It's me.
Hit me with him.
It
Stop
was
letting him do
hard to pick.
it.
So
It's a memoir.
it's a memoir.
I
Is memoir a French word?
don't know.
Okay. On the set of Suicide Squad, Miss Davis was asked a question by Will Smith.
Mm,
Okay. And he said, he'll always be who?
the 15-year-old boy who got broken up with by his girlfriend.
Very true. Yes. He do be telling that story a lot. Poor Will. It's like,
I mean,
let it go,
that's
brother.
in one of my things, actually.
Yeah.
I took note of that one.
What popular 70s sitcom did Viola and her sisters act as characters from in the skit that they created as kids? Do you remember this?
I You gotta give me the
Okay.
options.
Was it A, The Jeffersons, B, Sanford and Sons, C, Good Times, or D, What's Happening?
Sanford and
It
Sons.
is.
Yeah.
Do you know how Sanford and Sons is connected to me?
No.
My grandfather was a writer on Sanford and
Oh
Sons. Yeah,
wow.
period. Who was the family with the bad kids who lived in the same
The
building?
Thompson kids?
But what were they called? What did they refer to them as? Was it an animal? Was it A, the skunks, B, the bullfrogs,
The
the
bullfrogs. I knew
bullfrogs?
it was a bee. I was like, the bears. No, it wasn't the bears.
It
Bullfrogs.
was the bullfrogs.
Wow. I got it right.
You did? You got a 3 for 3. I got a 3 for 3 last
Woo! It's
week.
memoirs.
It's memoirs. Memoirs. Okay.
You
Did you like that?
insane. Yep, sure.
Big screen, small screen.
Ooh. Very quickly from me,
Hmm.
I would be into a, is it called a biopic? Biopic? I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, ESL is hard. If she wanted to produce one, I would be into
Hmm.
it.
I also
I think it would
said
be so profound,
it'd be so good. I said,
like Oscar winning.
oh, it'd be so good.
Oh, she
And
could
then she
come
could play her
into as
mom.
like a like. No, I did. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking she could come in as like an older figure that like she looked up to.
She could play Cicely
Cicely.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I also said a movie
Hmm.
biopic. I didn't write the word biopic, but I said a la Antoine Fisher, which I don't know if you've ever seen, but she was in that. She
Mm.
wrote about it in the book.
Oh, she did write about it.
Antoine Fisher is, as I did most things in my life, I saw way too young. because it's but it stuck with me.
Mm,
That's how good of a movie it is. And yeah, it's gritty, it's real,
mm-hmm.
it's a real story, and I feel like it'd be really good. I'd love to see it.
Okay.
Do it. Cast me.
Period.
Eliana could be the Portuguese kids and whatever. I said wrong.
Leave me alone.
Okay.
Anyway, moving along into superlatives. Or, you guys, I don't think this is made clear all the time. Superlatives is not just, these categories that we give people.
Mm-hmm.
It's also if we related to someone in the book.
Yes.
Did you have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I for sure related to Viola.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot to say. I feel like in moments and more about it and like
Mm-hmm.
specifically, but her trajectory, in her career, um, as a child growing up in like white spaces and
Mm-hmm.
being the only black kid, just not feeling there was a specific there was a specific moment when she was in college and she wrote about like just being herself and like the way the kids would talk about her, they'd be like, "You're so real, Viola. Like you're just like And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, it triggered the mess out of me because I would hear that all the time in college, and it was just like I was too black for the white people and too white, I guess, for the black people. I didn't have anybody to fit in with, and that's what she said. And then she also said, so it's just like me and my little like quirky crew, and I was like, literally me. It was just me and my little quirky crew. um People would be like, Condo 309 is so weird. And we'd be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, I don't want to be anything like you guys. No shade, no tea, but
All tea, all shade.
but yeah, I definitely related to her in that, and her position in her family, which again I'll get into more. I feel like in our moments, but I also related a lot to her older sister Danielle. No, not Danielle.
No, I was gonna say she's the young,
That's
she's
the
the
youngest
baby.
sister,
Dolores?
Dolores. Um, Dolores knew that she had a responsibility and that they were
Mm-hmm.
watching her
Mm-hmm.
and that she needed to set an example. And she got that at like a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had to grow up fast, but Dolores had to grow up
For
for
everybody,
everybody.
including
And
her parents.
exactly. And yeah, I really related to Dolores's story a lot. I was like, go ahead, girlfriend.
Yeah.
I loved, and she took being a sister very serious, and y'all know I love them kids.
I did really love the fact that Dolores was like, "Do you want to live this way?" And she was
Mm-hmm.
like 9 years old, and
Immediately walked in
Viola
the
was,
house.
yeah, Viola was 5. First time she met her. "Do you want to live this way?"
Okay,
No? Okay. You got
so
some things to do
come on,
if you don't want to live this way.
come on,
Like, how do you have that kind of
because Dolores has seen better days. And she said, "Now, Dolores was like, I wish they would have let me kept getting beat down south. I don't want to live here with y'all. This is crazy."
Yeah.
Um, dang, I was gonna say Viola is Viola because
Hmm.
Dolores was
Oh,
Dolores,
absolutely.
and like that, there's a
Absolutely.
sacrifice that
Dolores
older,
that get up. I know you want to, you
even
want to lay out.
herself,
Yeah.
Dolores suppressed her own dreams. Like she was like, "Oh, my sister's a great actress." She was like, "No, I need health insurance. I can't." She knew she couldn't afford to like not succeed,
Yeah.
or be stable. Like
Yeah.
not having stability wasn't an option for her, and the
Mhm.
life of an actress is very
It's
unstable.
unstable, yeah.
And that wasn't an option for Dolores.
Mhm.
And I respected that a lot. And yeah,
Yeah.
loved it, loved it, loved it. So yeah, that's what I related to. How about you, Miss E?
In terms of what I thought, I felt like I related to Viola a lot. There were several moments actually. One of them, she said, I love staring at my mom. I take in every detail of her face, hands, skin. It's like, see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we could bond on that. That you kind of just look at your mom and you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
love you, lady.
Amen.
And then there was another. Oh, okay. So this is when she got the opportunity to audition for that program, and her teacher was like, no, you can't do this. Oh, okay, no, I'll help you this way,
Mm-hmm.
I'll help you this way, you can do this way, whatever. And she said, free from the free from the chains of my excuses, I was handling my business and exercising my agency instead of sitting around doing nothing, and claiming that agency was a win in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought in that moment was of how natural it feels to just do what I want
Mm-hmm.
versus when I don't, I'm riddled with anxiety and like, and I'm literally worrying about nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, in, yeah, I, when I read that, I was like, yeah, because that's literally what it is. When you start living in the present and you just figure it out, do you know, it's ominous positivity. And it's like, you're someone like me gets so afraid of like, oh, I have a paper due at midnight and it needs to get done by midnight and I don't know how I'm going to do it. It has to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, it's getting done, and there's nothing else to think about other than just do the
You
work.
gotta do your work.
Yeah, that's it. Um so yeah, that moment stood out to me, and then the other moment that stood out to me was um Viola said, looking back, I see I had more social anxiety than shyness. I felt that who I really was not worthy of a reveal. I was terrified every time she had to come out. And I said, damn, do I relate? And I
Mm-hmm.
remember being told before not to call myself shy because I'm not, which was really weird for me
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been
Shy.
shy.
Same. Mm-hmm. I've never had anyone say that to me before, but yeah.
Yeah. It was really strange. I was,
And knowing you, you're not shy, but
that's so weird.
but but I know that to the world you are.
Yeah.
So like you saying like yeah, shy, I'm like yeah.
Yeah.
One of the big ones
Hmm.
is a big moment for me. But it is also like I relate to Viola Davis.
Hmm.
Viola Davis was born bow-legged,
Oh
and
yeah.
they wanted to break her legs.
Yeah.
So was I.
I
I
know.
thought that was crazy. I was like, what? Live your own life.
Yeah. I mean, but we know that Viola's bow-legged. You can see
You
it.
see the way she walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also wanted to break my legs. And they were like, absolutely. My grandmother was like, absolutely not. My mom was like, they said they're just gonna look up the thing, breaking her legs. She's fine. I'm
Would
like,
you
yeah,
read more from this author?
absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I like her writing.
Yeah.
She did a
She could also write
fantastic
like a
job.
fictional story and I'd read it.
Word.
I like your tone. I like your style.
Okay. So, thank you guys for watching. Before we go though, make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you have liked, commented, shared this video, and that you are subscribed to our channel.
Yes, ma'am. Make sure you have those post notifications on. So tap
Mm-hmm.
that bell in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're following us on all of the socials.
Yep.
Links are down below in the description. Make sure you stay tuned for part two of this video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of this video. Where we are going to get into it. We're gonna get into our favorite quotes, our favorite moments, and what did we learn?
Hey girl,
And
hey.
if E has some theories, I'll take them.
So many. Let's go.
All right. That's all for today, folks.
See you at the next meeting, girlies.
Bye,
Bye, girlies.
girlies.